What is going on, Internet Nerds? Steven here with another Rick and Morty Season 5 reaction video. I said last week I had no idea how they were going to top episode 1. Well, they did by giving us literally dozens of different Rick and Mortys. Spoilers ahead as we try to figure out our way through this episode. But before we jump in, I want to thank this episode's sponsor, Sets Hybrid Training. Sets is a locally owned gym in Jackson, Freehold, and Old Bridge, New Jersey. The second you walk in the door, a coach is with you every step of the way. Warm up to cool down, a coach will show you every exercise, demo modifications, intensifiers, and be available the entire time to answer any questions you have. Sessions are both beginner friendly and challenging to the most elite level of athletes, enabling them to help people all over the spectrum, starting at 16 years old to 70 plus, in a positive and encouraging atmosphere. Text InnerNerds to 732-250-0145 for a free week. Season 5, Episode 2, Mortyplicity, dives deep into the idea of what is existence. Is it consciousness? Is it the mere fact you are aware of life, so thus are existent regardless of your biological makeup, if you even have one? Or is it all just BS and we should enjoy our short, pointless lives, chasing around stupid, even shorter-lived fads that at best kill some time, but at worst will literally kill you?
You should have hunted me!
What? Who? Were you significant?
As usual, the answer is never that simple, or as black and white, and as whenever the whole Smith family is involved, we are left with multiple potential ways of attacking the point of the episode. In fact, the creators and writing team literally within the opening sequence murder any connection we had with our original Rick and Morty. Rick has always made light of the fact that there are an infinite amount of all of us in all the different dimensions. He has killed and damaged so many of the Smith family members, i.e. Cronenberg Smith family, Space Beth, the time they actually killed themselves and took over that reality, that this episode basically said it doesn't really matter which Rick and Morty is the real Rick and Morty. In fact, interestingly, as Rick and Morty are pounding down eggs and sausages, they say they are getting ready to kill the Christian God, mop style. Not the first reference to God in the episode, but more on that later. Rick tries to excuse the development of his decoys as protection after the Space Beth incident, his lack of communication, willingness to let in the other family members into what is going on, and general lack of true character growth is on full display in this episode. I could be looking more into it than is really there, but I do feel like this episode, written by Albro Lundy, who also wrote the great Vat of Acid episode from season 4, is saying regardless of timeline, of what happens to us in the past, we are inherently who we are. We might go through things that make us want to change. For instance, why the hell would Morty ever talk to Rick again after the Vat of Acid episode? And maybe he didn't for a few weeks, maybe months, but we don't change. Even if we make dozens of copies of ourselves, who then go on to make dozens of copies, who go on to make dozens more, we are who we are. This is highlighted by the fact that the Smith family are all dressing up as different squid aliens. Multiple different versions had the same idea, because they are the same. But others dressed up as, say, puppets, which tells us that while that Rick is a little more sensitive, he still held the same idea to dress up as a disguise, and yes, he didn't go actively hunting the other Ricks because he knew what was happening, so he let the others do it for him. Slightly different approaches, same person. Personally, these episodes are some of my favorite because we get to see all the creative what could have been Rick and Morty's. We get the family vacationing in Italy, Rick and Morty watching interdimensional cable, Wenwolf who meets Dracula, who again brings up pre-Christianity, but Rick comments on how they mucked up the whole core value of the show, ever so bluntly throwing shade on pretty much 90% of all shows. A Rick about to talk about Beth's mom, which right away should give some indication this Smith family's not lasting. Rick comments on how he wouldn't care if he's the real Rick or not. Morty finds the basement chamber where this decoy Rick has been building more decoys, leading to an eventual all-out war of decoys. Rick brings up the fact that living, then not living anymore, is existing, bringing us back to the irrelevance of being the real one or not. But this also touches back to Rick's inability to grow as a character. Now, Summer is starting to develop into Rick, finding security in his approval and actually enjoying the terrible things he has her do. Jerry and Beth are finding their way to a maybe not picture-perfect marriage, but one that is workable and in many ways real. Morty has very much found his independence and ability to not just survive, but thrive on his own, even over the last couple of seasons, cleaning up and fixing Rick's messes. It is Rick who refuses to maturate. This episode specifically had me thinking of season 2, episode 6, The Ricks Must Be Crazy, where he creates a world to power his car, and then that world creates a world to power their world. He literally does the same exact thing here. And I don't think it's bad storytelling, but very much on purpose. Everyone else in the Smith family and all their other versions and decoys have grown and matured. it is only Rick who has remained the same. He tries to mask it behind his genius, but I think this season is going to give us more insight into the background of our favorite piece of drunken, hard-to-love grandfather and some deeper peeks into his psychology. After Rick breaks down what is happening, we quickly defunct the squid as the big bads, as there are just more Smith family members. Rick actually says killing the squids might bring in a big bad, which is true. It brings in more Ricks. The biggest bad there is. We go on a fantastic montage of decoys killing decoys, highlighting how the show loves to hit all over normal guidelines of a normal show by killing every normal Smith family we briefly get attached to. Scarecrow Smith family is burnt to crisp by robotic wooden Smith family, who has awesome voice effects. This brings us again to God, where robotic wooden Beth says they were brought here by an unloving God. Now, this isn't the first time the show has gone into this territory. Rick literally fought a god, but as Harmon loves to do jokes in threes, this is the second major mention in the show. Rick starts the episode by saying they are going to kill God, which turns out to be himself. And true. Decoy Beth mentioning a supplement god, Rick, hints at another point of this episode. Not only does it not matter if you are the real you or not, you have replaced God or some sentient being with yourself because you are all that matters in your life. Decoys can be seen as all the versions you put of yourself on social media, different friend circles, work, family, and by not enjoying the little things in life, playing a nonsensical game to its finish, life is going to quickly come back and, well,
You should have hunted me.
What?
the irony here is that all these Ricks are out on a mission to live. They want to live as the true Rick. It actually does matter to him. No matter what he says, he wants to exist with his family. Rick makes a huge projection of himself, which starts a world war of the Smith family, and we lose any sense of who our real Smith family is here. Rick calls himself God. This last family is killed by his ego, and we end on only what could be assumed, if it even matters, the real Smith family in space with Space Beth. Our end cutscene gives us wooden robot Jerry, chewed up, deserted, surviving through Earth's second time around cowboys and then a reborn Christianity, ending our God joke troupe, basically saying intelligent life is secular. Nothing is new, and we are bound to repeat all our mistakes, just like Rick, no matter how smart we are. That was Rick and Morty, Season 5, Episode 2. I would love to know how you felt, your thoughts, what your favorite part of the episode is. Please comment below. And if you liked the video, please give us a like, subscribe to our channel, and like all things at The Inner Nerds, because we are the real ones, not decoys, and we appreciate it. We appreciate you. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you on the next video. Peace.